Abby, I really love this time of year when we are stuck inside and we're reflecting back at our favorite moments of the year. Rather than having fun, we just think about when we did have fun.
You love talking, so you love these videos.
So in today's video, we're going to take a look at our top 5 favorite RC planes. I have loved RC planes pretty much more than anything else, especially in the last year, and it's been a great year for some RC planes, both new and old. But remember, as we go through this list, this is my personal opinion. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. What's your favorite thing? Without further ado, let's get right to the list.
Number 5 on the list really just depends on your budget. You have either the UMX Pits or the bigger, more expensive FMS Pitts.
These are both amazing planes. I'm looking at it right now. The FMS Pitts is huge, it's beautiful, and a lot of people when they see it fly, they don't think that it is foam. It is one of the few foam planes that exist that just doesn't look or fly like foam. It is just very sporty, very on rails, absolutely beautiful, big head turner, but let's face it, it's a little bit expensive. And not everybody that flies planes is buying the big expensive planes that fly on like 6S batteries. So that's where the little UMX Pits comes in handy. This thing is small but mighty, and it is just as much a head turner as the big plane, especially when you go fly it at a local park, baseball field, or some small space, and that's where it really shines. It comes in one piece in the box. You pull it out of the box, you plug in the battery, a very quick easy binding process to your radio, and you're up and flying. Flies very scale if you want it to, also very sporty. So yeah, depending on your budget, you can either go UMX or FMS. We'll have them linked in the description box below. And guys, know that anything on this list that we have linked below, if you click those links, it does help to support our channel and our growing family.
Yeah, I'm big. I think we all know.
Using those links though, don't cost you anything extra, but it does help to support us, and we're very grateful. Having said that, what's the next one on the list, Abby?
Number 4 on the list is the E-Flite Beechcraft.
Oh, the Beechcraft. That was super unexpected and ridiculously cool. This is a twin motor electric beautiful scale flying airplane, but really capable because of that differential thrust. You can do some really fun different things with it. I've probably flown it close to like maybe 20 to 30 times now. Not as much as I'd like, just because the airplane fleet this year has been really cool. And this coming from E-Flite was just really unexpected. You know, we tend to expect things like Trojans, P-51s, maybe a scale personal plane like a Piper or something, you know, Cirrus maybe, and definitely more turbo timbers, but we didn't expect to see this, and when it came out, I think everyone's jaw just hit the floor. It is really cool to have a varied plane like this in the lineup, in the fleet, and it's one that I don't intend to ever get rid of until its fatal final flight day. They all have them, right? But I'm hoping mine is a decade from now or more. I really love the Beechcraft. I applaud E-Flite for making it, and I love how it flies. You can tell someone put some blood, sweat, and tears into getting that thing flying perfectly. And oh my gosh, you got to go check out one of the flight videos after this.
Number 3 on the list is the E-Flite Turbo Timber Evolution.
I just made fun of the Turbo Timber, but there's a
Which
lot.
one?
All of them. There's a lot of them because they're good, and it just so happens the Turbo Timber Evolution is by far the best. A lot of people come to me, actually, this is very interesting, like point of discussion on the Turbo Timber Evo, the TT Evo. Some people will come to the comments and say, hey, I think I got a pretty good understanding of aviation. Yeah, could I make this my first plane, my trainer plane? And to the right person, I actually say yes, because of safe technology and the way this plane is set up to fly a little bit on the slower side if you want it to with those wing slats. You can learn to fly on this plane. Now maybe it's not your first plane, maybe it's your second or third. That would be fantastic, because let's say you do have a trainer under your belt. You can fly this plane like a trainer, then turn safe off, and learn how to do loops and rolls and snaps, inverted flying, knife edging, some of the maybe more introductory flight maneuvers, and look really good while doing it. Not to mention, the lights look fantastic. It is just a really, really good plane. I think last year I ranked this as like the #1 plane.
It might have been up there, yeah.
But we have just seen some really awesome things come out this year, so that's why, what is this, #3 on the list? But it's a really good plane, and it just belongs in your lineup.
Number 2 on the list is the Aeros Husky 6S version.
It's a very, very important difference that you don't buy, and the naming convention is weird. They call this like the Super Ultimate Mega Edition, okay? It's strange. This is a pretty bold statement, but I am confidently going to tell you the Husky 6S is my favorite 6S plane to fly. It is big and easy to see. It is very aerobatic and capable. Maybe not like the fastest rolling thing in the world, but for the type of airplane that it is, it can hover and climb up out of everything. 6S power is just the sweet spot. Sometimes you have a plane that feels like it's just barely lacking in power. You punch it and you want it to rocket up, but it just kind of slowly putzes up or can't even climb up. This one does what it's supposed to do. They hit a home run with this. I think it's probably currently out of stock. But when you look at it, you might think, well, that's not the most exciting thing to look at. It's not. It's not covered in flames. It's not got these cool bells and whistles that maybe some other things like the Draco have. But trust me, when it comes to flight performance, this is a really good plane. If you want to buy your very first 6S large airplane, I'm not talking jets, I'm talking airplanes, this is the one to get. We've had some really good planes, I've had some really good flights, and I've learned a lot. But through learning, I've also crashed, and crashes are just a part of the hobby. And I'm grateful that I have the Academy of Model Aeronautics. I think just having AMA in my pocket while I'm flying lifts a little bit of stress off of my shoulders and lets me know that I can push my limits just a little bit out of my comfort zone to try and learn new things. It's just a security blanket while I'm flying. And that feeling alone is worth it to me. And I encourage you guys to buy yourself a year of AMA so you know the feeling too. Or maybe you do fly with AMA and you just need to renew yours soon. But if you're new to AMA, yes, it's an insurance program, but you also get a nice magazine subscription every month. So even if you don't, hopefully you don't have to use AMA, you still benefit by getting the magazine subscription, access to flying at flying locations all over the country. And I know a lot of people have questions about things with our hobby where we shouldn't have these questions, but we do. And I don't think a lot of people know you can pick up the phone and call AMA and have those questions answered. Maybe you're unsure about where you can fly, weight of an aircraft, or those types of things. Just depends where you fly. If you live in the States, I encourage you to sign up for the Academy of Aeronautics and have those questions answered. Fly confidently and safely. We'll have AMA linked below. So there's a plane that came out right before we made this list, and so it absolutely deserves a spot.
Actually, it was right after we made our list.
All right. So this is going to be like 1.5 because
1.5.
It snuck right in there because it's so different. It's not really like competing with anything else or anything. It's in a category of its own, but it is an airplane. The brand new E-Flite Eratix. It is a flat 3D airplane, and I've never owned anything quite like this. I've certainly never owned a bind and fly that flies just perfectly right out of the box. Assembly time was like 20 minutes. Flight time is like, what, 12, 15 minutes? Or I don't know, 10, maybe 10 minutes?
Gets up to 10, yeah.
And it is really fun to fly. And here's the cool thing. It's one of the first planes in a really long time that Abby straight out said, I want to fly that.
Yep.
Here's the nice thing. That thing is $220 bind and fly. Those receivers alone are worth like $60. Yeah. So the value of this airplane is like $150. It's amazingly priced in my opinion because we do value our time and it comes assembled at that price. To me personally, I think it, if I were pricing it, you know, $250, $280 or something because of the assembly time. Yes. So you can buy a flat 3D airplane like this.
Then go buy all the electronics.
And buy all the electronics and maybe come in around $200 to $250 if you do it right, depending on metal gear servos or plastic gear servos. And if you value your time or not, the assembly time then on top of that $200 to $250 puts you right around maybe 300. I think it's great. I think they hit the nail on the head. It flies really well. It's super fun to fly. It's something very different, and so it deserves a spot on this list. It just came out, so it kind of snuck right in here. But number one, if you watch our channel, shouldn't be a big surprise, but I think a lot of people wouldn't choose this airplane.
And this is another one that Nate had to have a backup because he did crash it, but it wasn't my fault, but it was my fault. It was more his fault because it was all his idea. Is the E-Flite Commander.
I love the E-Flite Commander. Now, it's not the best at any one thing, right? It is not just like the fastest plane. It's not the most acrobatic or aerobatic. It is not the best stall plane. It's not the best looking scale plane. But if you take all those things together and you say, what's the strongest airplane that can get closest to hitting all those nails on the head? That's the Commander, the new one. Now, this plane existed before as what, a 3S plane, and it was red. It was fine, but go back and watch the videos. I didn't get too excited about it. I flew it once or twice and that was the end of it. This plane, as 4S with telemetry back to your radio, is everything that I want in just a fun flying plane. It can be fast, it can be sporty, it can be slow in scale. It does maneuver extremely well. It snaps really well. It snaps so well that I can throw the canopy off of it on a really good full throttle snap, which I've done. I've lost the canopy and the cattails.
After you crashed it.
I know.
After crash.
I know, but after I crashed, I continue to get more brave and fly faster and stuff.
How's that inverted show pass coming, by the way?
We'll work on it.
Inverted show pass.
I can't do that. I definitely have never done that before. Fun though. Tell me something.
I'm the boss. I did.
I cannot do an inverted show pass. Can I? I'll try. I've never done it. You're doing these things that I've never done.
I only know so many moves, so I gotta get creative.
Oh, no, man. Crunch. People didn't think that plane would fly again. I took about an hour and a half maybe, which is a long time to repair a foam airplane. Usually it's like 10-15 minutes. It took like a little over an hour, and I took my favorite hot glue gun. I went to town on it, and the only thing that actually broke in that crash was a servo horn. And that, I think, says a lot about the hobby, that a lot of people get deterred from the hobby, or even a bad crash. They'll have a crash that looks as bad, maybe not even nearly as bad as my crash I had on the Commander, and they'll walk away from the hobby and throw the plane in the trash and be done with it. When really all it took was 2 hot glue sticks, an hour of my time, and it's back in the air. It's a really fun plane to fly, and it's one of these moments where you just have to put a little faith in Nate's suggestions. You know, I'm here to recommend good experiences to you guys. I don't want you to buy something that you end up hating. So, you know, again, it might not look like the most exciting thing in the world, but I strongly encourage you to pick one up for yourself, get it in the fleet eventually, and then do a follow-up. Come back to this video, come to any of our Commander videos and say, you know what, Nate, you were right. This is a really fun plane to fly. I appreciate the recommendation. So please take my word, go pick yourself up either an Eratix or a Commander or a Husky 6S, depending on where your budget's at and what type of flying style you enjoy, and let us know what you think. But did I miss something? Is your favorite plane not on our list? Please let us know in the comments.
Well, for an awesome year with tons of crashes, tons of amazing flights, and Nate's skills just like hitting a whole new level.
Thanks. Not that good.
I want to thank God. I also want to say a huge thanks to our patron family members. You guys are so amazing. You're the reason why we can continually bring this free content to YouTube, and we're so thankful. If you want some of your own TheRcSaylors stickers, sign up as a patron. I'll have it linked down in the description box below.
You've got to check out one of those Commander videos flying, so we'll have that video popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye!